PSG versus Arsenal, ladies and gentlemen. It is the second leg of the Champions League. This is all or nothing. Champions League or bust for Arsenal. You got to believe. You got to believe, Lee. You got to believe. I'm calling the people in Toronto. I'm calling the people in Spain. I'm calling the people all the way in Reading, all the way to Birmingham, every single Arsenal fan in the whole UK, plus around the world. I see you guys in Dubai. I see you guys in Asia and Malaysia. I see you guys in Australia chilling with Maddie and the rest of the guys in the United States. Everyone, come join us and believe we can do it. No trouble. Genuinely, you have to. If you don't believe your team can get the job done in a game of this kind of magnitude, why even go into these kind of games with any confidence? I believe my team can do it. I've seen my team at their best slap Real Madrid, slap PSV, slap Man City, slap so many teams this season. And we need you guys as a fan base, as a collective, for 90 minutes, an extra time if needed, to put all the agendas aside. Nothing about Arteta, nothing about Odegaard, just strictly back in the team for 90 minutes. Can we do that, Lee?
Well, let's hope they can give us something back. Let's hope they give us something back. Let's just be real with it. Yeah, because the last game, last week, even you were upset. You were fuming. You was peed off with that. And like you said, like, listen, it was a great speech, great intro. That's up to you. But even you last week weren't happy with that performance. And listen, we've seen us go into semi-finals this season against Newcastle and absolutely fold when we know what's required. We know what we've got to do in the second leg. And even that game, you had the ump. In the second leg of the Newcastle game, you had the ump. So, listen, hopefully they go and get the job done. Do I think they will? Not really. I hope they do. But at the same time, it is more hope than, yeah, we're going to do this kind of thing. Just based off of what we've witnessed recently.
Okay. Do you agree with the people who say Martin Odegaard shouldn't start this game? Because that, to me, is crazy. I'm thinking
100% he's got to be dropped. Drop him. He's rubbish.
Drop him.
Strip him of the armband and leave him in London. He's been rubbish. Again, he offers nothing. Let's be real. We got past Real Madrid in spite of him. Yeah, he was a passenger against Madrid. He was a passenger last week. He's been a passenger all season. Yeah, and it's just like, well, if we want to give ourselves the best chance, got to drop him. And then what will happen is he'll go and score tonight. You'll come and chat to me and go, see, that's why we should have kept him playing. He scored the winner and we're in the final. But let's just go, yeah, off of what we've witnessed. He don't affect games like he used to.
I think he might be injured. I don't know. But before we make any excuses for him, surely you don't believe dropping Martin Odegaard in a game of this magnitude is a positive.
100% it is. We need somebody to take us on the front foot. He don't. He passes sideways and backwards.
Yeah. Well, we can't drop Martin Odegaard. That would be.
We're not talking about Zidane, bruv. It's Martin Odegaard.
I know, but you cannot drop.
We can play Ethan and Wary. We see a 17-year-old boy balling out last night for Barca. Yeah, everyone wants to do the comparisons. It's Ethan, different. Messi, Ethan, Yamal, and all of this on Twitter. So let's see if he's Yamal and Messi then. This is the big moment. Step up. Either sink or swim. Skelly's done it. Skelly steps up. Yeah, we've thrown Skelly into big games this season. He steps up against Real Madrid. And I'm not, even me, I was sitting there thinking, wow, this is a big moment for Skelly. It's a big moment. He either sinks or swims against Real Madrid. And what did he do? Absolutely locked off Rodrigo, both legs.
Okay. I'll tell you this. Thomas Partey being back in the midfield should help the balance in the midfield defensively. Martin Odegaard is still going to lead the press. Martin Odegaard is still going to get the ball in dangerous areas. What we need is a little bit more balance. And Partey being back brings more balance. I do think we're going to see a better performance from Martin Odegaard. I think it's actually... It hurts Arsenal more if we were to go into this game and drop the captain, drop one of our more creative players, and to put in Ethan. Now, Ethan's a great player, and he's going to be a great player in the future, but he's not ready yet to be starting a game of this magnitude right off the bat. I would say if we had to play him, maybe we do that. But right now, Martin Odegaard's fit enough to play, even though he might be somewhat injured. I think it hurts Arsenal more, Lee, for Arsenal to be discussing, Arsenal fans to be saying, oh, we need to drop our captain in this kind of game. I think it's just ridiculous. I get you guys are saying Martin Odegaard's not being good enough, and lately he hasn't. I agree with you there. He was poor in the first game. He's been poor in some of these games in the recent running. Completely agree. But even then, when he's poor, he's still the guy who set up the opening goal versus PSG. He's still, versus Real Madrid for Saka in the final game. He's still the guy who sets up opportunities in a way.
Mikel Merino set both the goals up.
No, he's the one who opened up the space and got the ball to Mikel Merino to make the pass.
So he did his job, passed it sideways.
No, he didn't pass it sideways.
He passed it sideways, and Merino did the cutting ball. That's what he's supposed to be doing.
Lee, I just think for this 90 minutes, we should put our agendas aside. And I think if
no, listen, we're having a conversation now. We ain't started the game yet. Yeah, but at the end of the day, right? Like even when I was going to games and I wanted Wenger out, as soon as I was in the stadium, I'm actually there, live, direct, 6 rows behind the goal. Yeah, didn't give a shit. Yeah, I didn't like certain players in the team. I went out to Ostersund and I could literally, where my monitor is right now, touch the goal when I was in Ostersund. And I was still going, come on, lads, next one's in. They were missing sitter after sitter. I was like, come on, next one's in, Ozil, next one's in. Yeah. It's like when you're in the ground, like when I'm sat in my gaff, bro, they ain't listening to me, they're playing the game. Yeah. And at the same time, we're all doing the same thing. Like if you go through anybody's tweets during the game, yeah, even the most positive fans during the game say exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, and then as soon as the result comes in, everything's forgotten and they forgot all their tweets that they posted. Yeah, it's like when you're in the game, the emotion of the game, yeah, you're invested in the game. Yeah, and at the end of the day, this captain's been rubbish all season. Thomas Partey brings more balance into the team. Well, where was that against Bournemouth? Because he didn't do anything against Bournemouth. He got locked off against Bournemouth.
We were good in the first half. Second half, we dropped off the whole team.
And that's what I'm saying. They dropped off. Yeah, we didn't see Thomas Partey. We didn't see Saka. Ben White, he was just useless. Let's just be real with it. We didn't see any of our forward players at all, Martinelli, Odegaard. And we had our best midfield three in midfield against Bournemouth. Well, we're going up against a proper team now with a proper midfield, not Bournemouth midfield. And Bournemouth had nothing to play for. Yeah, and they still shut us down. Yeah, so now we're going up against a team that are playing to get in the final. And this is why I dropped the captain, because that sends a statement to the rest of the players. Yeah, wow, he's dropped the captain for this game. Shit, we better perform or win next. Yeah, and then, yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Reverse psychology.
But it's unlikely because he trusts him and he's not going to drop him.
Which is why I'm not confident we qualify. Because we're playing with 10 men if he's playing.
Okay, let's get into that then. Let's get into that. Enough about we spoke about the reasons why we should drop him and the reason why we shouldn't drop him, but we do acknowledge, both of us, that he's not going to get dropped. That's just the reason.
Oh yeah, 100%. He'll start. I can name the team right now: Raya, Timber, Saliba, Kiwior, Skelly, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka, Merino. And if I know that, and it will be that team, I'll be shocked.
That's the team that played Real Madrid over the 2 legs.
Yep. And if I know that's going to be the team, so does Luis Enrique. And I'll tell you the subs as well if you want and what minute they'll be.
But we also know Luis Enrique's team, don't we?
Not necessarily. He could put Ramos up front and put Dembele on the wing.
Why would he do that? Ramos is not good.
Well, Ramos might not be good, but at the same time, Luis Enrique's a better manager, so he'll twist things up. We ain't. We're going to put Merino up front. We know this. We're going to put Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left. And Martinelli will be on the left because he tracks back better than Trossard. And he's a threat going forward with his pace.
Would you say the lineup's predictable, or would you say that's our best lineup? And obviously, you're going to play your best lineup.
I don't think it is our best lineup. Odegaard ain't fit to play. He ain't fit for purpose, mate. Neither Saka, but with Saka, even a half-fit Saka is better than a fully fit Martin Odegaard. Let's just be real with it. Yeah, at any moment, Saka can score. At any moment, even if he's not in the game, bang, he can score. A little bit like Salah in that respect. Yeah, obviously you don't get the output of Salah, but look at the games we've watched this season where he's played. Yeah, out of nothing, he'll just score. Wolves' first game of the season, weren't in the game, bang, goal, 1-0. Yeah, and that's the difference between a top player and an average player. Yeah, the average players don't do it. Yeah, Saka, yeah, I didn't even know he was on the pitch at the weekend. Yeah, but it wouldn't have surprised me one bit if he'd got the ball and put it top bins, because that's what he can do. Yeah, Martinelli, less so. Yeah, Martin Odegaard, he needs 1 billion touches to pass the ball properly. Yeah, so I'd take him out and I'd put Ethan in. I'll tell you why I'd put Ethan in there. Because he takes players on, he troubles people, he worries people, he'll go round you, he'll drop a shoulder and go part, and he can score. And we know he can whip that ball top bins. And then when he's got Martinelli and Saka running in front of him.
We will not have control. We will not have possession. And honestly, you're not going to drop the captain. It's just common sense. Like we both already said this.
But that's why I don't rate him, because he should rate him. He should be dropping him Egal, yeah. Because if he drops him earlier in the season, we might be in the title race still.
I honestly think Martin Odegaard's injured, and I'm kind of, you know me, I give players a pass. Martin Odegaard this season has not had enough cover for in his position. We need to rotate him a little bit more. We need to take him out of the firing line more. I agree with you there. And Mikel Arteta has not been good at rotating the team to its full capabilities. We've seen Kiwior performing the way that he's performing now. Why wasn't he getting more game time before Gabriel got injured? I agree with you, Lee. We could have done better with our rotation. But in the same breath, we have to acknowledge Arteta's kind of hamstrung right now with the amount of injuries we have.
Yeah, but that comes back to poor planning and poor squad rotation, because let's be real, yeah, we've gone through this on many streams before about how many games Saka's played when we shouldn't have had him on the pitch, where we were like 4-0 up, 3-1 up, 7-1 up, that stuff like that in the last couple of years. And especially this season as well, when we're slapping teams this season, the ones that we have slapped, yeah, why not put Sterling on? So yeah, when we're 3-0 up, put Sterling on, then you might preserve some of these players a little bit so they might not be so injured. Because let's be real, it's a bit of a risk playing Timber tonight.
It's a combination of the two. It's poor planning and bad luck. It is definitely a risk playing Timber tonight, but if he trained and he's ready to go, then you put him out there. I think it's more of a risk starting Ben White when you have Timber available enough to play.
But again, this comes back to what I said. Do you remember when you text me and say, what you're saying now, you were wrong about Saka when he scored against Everton? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. After the Madrid game, and when I said to you, I said he's running on adrenaline. After the Madrid game, what has he done?
Not much.
Thank you, because the adrenaline's worn off, and now he looks like a knackered, worn-out, injured footballer, doesn't he? Let's just be real.
But to be fair to Saka, he was probably one of the main guys who was getting on the ball, making a difference in the first leg versus PSG. I just think Martinelli, if Martinelli was a little closer to goal, or we had Mikel Merino playing up front instead of Trossard, maybe we could have got a goal in the first leg.
The one where he crossed it, left side.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Saka does his job every time. There's two guys, no matter what, rain or shine, that I can rely upon and say they're going to do their job to the best of their abilities. That is Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka. Everybody else, you can debate if they have good games or if they have bad games. But who for you is the player who needs to step up the most this game?
Who needs to step up the most? I'd say Kiwior. Because obviously the captain ain't going to step up, so we already know that. I'd say Kiwior. So if you look at Kiwior in the first leg, yeah, we're very lucky that's only 1-0, mate. Because most of the chances they had came from his mistake. Yeah, I'll send you a little compilation afterwards. Yeah, it's about a minute long, if that. Yeah, every single time they had a chance.
Actually, Mikel Merino's mistake.
Yeah, of course. But the chances, and obviously the keeper made some good saves. Yeah, and then there was one where he gave the ball away. Yeah, and they fired the ball. I think it was Vitinha, fired the ball straight in. Yeah, and then I think it was Dembele, just couldn't quite get a touch on it. If he'd got a touch on it, it would have got it in the back of the net. Yeah, and that was, again, him giving the ball away. He needs to step up tonight. Yeah, because Saliba's looked a little bit lost without Gabriel. Yeah, so he ain't been really great recently. Yeah, but that's because he's trying to cover for the mistakes of Kiwior. Look when Kiwior in the first leg, and at the weekend as well, by the way. Look at when he was on the halfway line. He's trying to do the Gabriel role of being that forceful, dominating centre back, but he ain't got it, bro. He ain't got the physicality. He ain't got the pace.
But you think he can't read the game properly? Is going to be a decider if we keep Kiwior or sell him potentially? One of those kind of games.
Maybe. I think he'll be gone anyway.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think he'll be gone. I think Calafiori's going as well.
I wouldn't mind selling him. I haven't seen enough of him yet, but I wouldn't mind.
But this is what we need to do as a club, Egal. Yeah, we need to, like, I'll give you an example. Right? I said I'd take Morata at Arsenal in a heartbeat when he left in AC in fucking hell. When he left Atleti, right? Then he went to AC Milan. He won a trophy with the new manager, but that wasn't the manager that signed him. Yeah, that manager played him in the final. They won the game. Yeah, guess what? As soon as the window opens, bang, you're sold, mate. Bye-bye.
So you're selling Calafiori for less than what we got him for, or you're
just get him off the books? How much do we pay for him? I couldn't care less. He's rubbish. If we can get half our money back, we've had a result. Yeah, I'll do the same with Tomiyasu. I know that's not going to happen in this window coming.
No, we're definitely not going to sell Tomiyasu. We're not going to sell a bunch of these guys, but Calafiori, AC Milan wants him for 35 million. I think
take the money and run.
I think we can get our money back and get 45 potentially.
Maybe, but listen, we've got a good sporting director now, so he's already not renewing Jorginho, so that's one out the door.
Dean Huijsen, would you go for him?
I don't know. He's flavour of the month at the minute, isn't he?
Be honest. Do you think Saliba's gone?
Depends. It depends how much. Like, if Real Madrid come in with 75 million quid, that's hard to reject. 75? He's got 2 years left on. He's got 2 years left on his contract, and let's be real, Egal. Yeah, we've just seen Trent Alexander-Arnold play Liverpool along for 2 years.
How much money is it going to cost us to replace him? 75 million is not enough.
That's better than nothing.
I would rather let him play out another year and sell him next year or let him run down his contract on a free than sell him for 75 million. I don't think 75 million is worth enough. I think he's easily 120, 150 million pound player.
That makes no sense. You'd let him leave for free in 2 years.
Yeah. Then
rather than get 75 now and replace him now.
No, because I would rather have him here for next season, and I think he's valuable. Have him here maybe even the year after that. And if Real Madrid want him on a free, they can have him on a free 2 years down the line. I think we get more value out of Saliba than we do 75 million. I think if we get 75 million today, we're going to have to spend 50 million or 60 million to even replace Saliba. So are we really benefiting selling Saliba for 15 net profit? It don't make sense. I think Saliba's worth at least 100 and 150. If they're offering us over 120 for Saliba, then we talk.
There ain't no way in a million years that anyone's going to pay 100, 120 for a centre-back. Never in a million years.
In today's world, bro, Van Dijk went for 75. Saliba's easily worth over 100 million.
Yeah, no, it's worth what someone's prepared to pay for him.
Yeah, and
Liverpool had the money as well because they sold Coutinho.
And I don't think Real Madrid are prepared to pay for Saliba. So I think as an Arsenal, we're lucky that they don't have time to wait for Saliba right now for 2-3 years down the line. They could potentially, by the time Saliba's contracts run out, they could already have Konate, Dean Huijsen, and somebody else. Like Real Madrid are not going to wait 3 years for Saliba. They either offer us big money this summer because they already got Mbappe and Trent and all these guys for free. They offer us big money this summer or they offer us big money next summer, but they're not going to get him for 75 million. Why would we give them a discount?
We do it every time, Egal. We're rubbish at selling.
Unless they're giving us Rodrigo and they're giving us Rodrigo and somebody else plus cash, then we can talk. But
we'll probably end up with Rudiger. Yeah, who's got no knees left.
Bro, this is no more William Gallas bullshit. None of that.
To be fair, Rudiger's a bad boy centre back.
No, but I mean no more getting guys from other clubs when they're past their prime. Try to focus on getting. If we're gonna get somebody past their prime, go get Kevin De Bruyne.
See, no. His legs are gone as well.
KDB is better as a backup or a starter than some of the players we currently have in our team, even today. So why not go get somebody like him instead of we just let Jorginho go? Give him the Jorginho.
Yeah, but this is why we don't win stuff, Egal, yeah? Right. Because you're saying that KDB is better.
Rudiger's a quality player. I would rather go get KDB than go get.
Yeah, Rudiger's still a starting player for Real Madrid when he's fit, and obviously he's just got injured, and I think he's banned for 6 games as well, but he's out for months with his injury.
Wouldn't KDB improve this team?
No. This is why we don't win stuff. Yeah, Man City are prepared to let him go. Yeah, they're letting him go for nothing. He's free. Bye bye.
Oh,
Rudiger's not. Rudiger's still going to play for Real Madrid next season.
Bro, if I'm not mistaken, what's the guy's
name? So if Man City don't want him, why would we take them when we're trying to overtake them as a club?
What's that Italian midfielder who left? Was it AC Milan and went to Inter? Or
no, that was Turkish brother.
This happens all the time. You have a 29-year-old or a 30-year-old or 35-year-old leaving one club, going to another club, and he still has like a couple more years in the bank. I bet you any money today, Kevin De Bruyne goes to Italy and plays for Inter. He's balling out for another 2-3 years. But again, that's a slower pace of football. It's not the hustle and bustle and like mess of the Premier League. Everyone's running fast and it's pace and power. They're more technical over there. There you go, Pirlo.
It's a more technical league. Yeah, he wouldn't have to do so much running. Mkhitaryan's 37. He's still doing this thing out there. Why? Because he don't have to run so much.
That's crazy. Mkhitaryan.
if Mkhitaryan played in the Premier, well, he did play in the Premier League. He was finished in the Premier League. Why? Because he ain't got the physicality to do it. His legs ain't there anymore. So now he's gone to a league where it's a little bit slower. Don't have to do so much running. KDB will do all right in Italy, for example. Yeah, KDB at Arsenal, nah, never in a million years.
Talk to me about Partey quickly.
2 years ago, maybe.
Talk to me about Partey. A large portion of the fan base don't want to keep him, and the club seem to be more open to keeping him now with Berta in the building. What do you think? Do you think we keep him in a heartbeat? He's gone?
In a heartbeat, I'd keep him, but I'm not so sure we will.
Do you think it's because of the whole behind the scenes bullshit with the case and everything?
No, I don't think so. I just think there's a lot of this fan base that just jumps to conclusions about random shit they ain't got any idea about. Yeah, we don't even know if it is that person. Let's be real. It's just an unnamed footballer. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? It could be anyone, couldn't it? But this fan base loves to chat shit. Yeah, so I'd keep him. I think he's our best midfielder. Yeah, and I think with him in the team, we are better.
He's not better than Declan Rice.
100% he's better than Declan Rice.
He's not better than Declan Rice. Come on, stop.
Of course he is.
Declan Rice.
The only thing Declan Rice is better at is crossing a ball, yeah, and shooting. Because Thomas Partey, most of his shots go out the ground, and that's why Declan. It's true. It's like us playing rugby, yeah. But in terms of reading the game, he's better than Declan Rice, in my opinion. His passing's better. Yeah, okay. He's got a better engine. Yeah, Declan Rice is huffing and puffing after 70 minutes.
Come on.
Now, Declan Rice is huffing and puffing after 70 minutes, mate. Partey's older.
Partey's only recently improved his fitness to this level. Partey's fitness was not at this level when he first joined. Like, we were not seeing him making runs from fullback all the way into the box scoring goals like he did against Ipswich. That was Partey of old never does that. This is a new version of Partey. He's working for a contract. I'm telling you.
But maybe that contract's somewhere else though.
he could fall off a cliff the moment we give him that contract. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, we could say the same about a lot of players. We could say the same about Kevin De Bruyne. We could give Kevin De Bruyne a contract, and he could fall. Well, he has fallen off a cliff the last 2 years.
Yeah, fair. I personally,
and then we'll be playing a player.
I personally would give Partey a 1+1. And hopefully he stays for that 1+1 and doesn't go somewhere else and get like a 3-4 year deal somewhere else. And because we're then gonna have to replace 2 midfielders rather than 1. And if we do replace 2, some people saying just play Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield and get a left back in the summer.
Another left back, Jesus Christ.
We're gonna get another defender, whether you like it or not. That's gonna happen.
Another left back. Wow.
Because Kieran Tierney's leaving, Zinchenko's leaving, Kiwior might be leaving. Even you said Calafiori is leaving. All those defenders leaving. We're going to get another defender.
Why? What's everyone want to leave?
Okay, Kieran Tierney's already gone. He's going to Celtic, right? Then, what do you call it? Kiwior looks like Kiwior or Calafiori, one of them are going to probably be sold, right?
Yeah,
we know the club has been shopping Zinchenko around since January. So that's another player who could potentially be out the door. We've spoke about this on Dan's channel. There's going to be a defense. The defense is going to be shaken up a little bit, and it's going to be mostly the squad depth for the defense is going to be shaken up. And we're going to shift out some of these guys who are lower down the pecking order, and maybe bring in one more or 2.
Yeah, but this is where we've got to be smart, and this is why Berta's been brought in. Yeah, it's like Andrew says in the chat, keeping Partey will free up some extra money. Yeah, because we won't have to go and replace Partey.
Let me see what this guy's saying. Big up. This one of your people's. I'm thinking. Play AB.
Player DBX. DXB.
Yeah, player DBX. Big up to you. I hope all the Arsenal players are reading the hate comments on X. I need some character tonight, bro. Best believe the only person who's online is probably Declan Rice. Everybody else is. Everybody else.
Let's hope he ain't reading my tweets then.
Everybody else. Although he follows you, he might be. Everybody else keeps to themselves and they don't look online. Mikel Merino said,
they do. Egal.
Mikel Merino said, "We got something for you, second leg. We're gonna win it." Mikel Merino.
Yeah, we've heard this before, man. We've heard this before Newcastle. We've heard this before Man United game. We've heard this before Aston Villa last season. Bayern Munich last season. Heard this so many times, man.
But he said it, and I believe him when he says that. When he says, you know what, when he goes out and says, you know, Arsenal will win and reach this Champions League final, because I seen his performances versus Real Madrid. He wasn't scared. I seen his performances throughout the season in this running. And
so if he drops a biblical stinker tonight, then you're going to demand him to apologize.
110%. This guy came out there, and out of all the people, he said Arsenal will win in Paris and reach the Champions League final. Mikel Merino said that. That takes some balls, and you don't say that shit unless you mean it, and you're not going to back yourself.
No, that's fair enough, but at the same time, he don't know that, does he?
He doesn't know that. Obviously, nobody knows that, but it takes some balls to go out there and put yourself on.
Because as good as he may be scoring tonight, let's say he scores 2 goals, but we lose or draw 2-2. Yeah, he's done his job. He's done his job, yeah. Yeah. So, but he don't know that he's going to even get the chances because we don't create any.
We do create chances. It's just when you should never play Trossard up top ever again. Maybe play him up to, you know what? Forget about Liverpool and the league right now. Let's just talk about the Champions League. Forget about that. Do you believe that Arsenal can win the midfield battle today? Because that was the problem in the previous game, in my opinion.
Not with Odegaard in the team, mate. No chance.
Well, think about it though. Moreno is going to be in the midfield. Mazou Skelly is going to be helping out in the midfield. Partey, Declan Rice. We're going to have a 5-man midfield potentially at times.
Yeah, we do that every game. The only player that was missing was Partey last week, and they literally walked through our midfield.
Yeah, that was down to Mikel Merino's mistake.
Well, there you go. So that's why he's come out and said we're going to win, because he cocked up. He's not going to come out and say, no, we're not going through. I messed up. I'm stupid. Oh, we're fucked it. He's not going to say that, is he? It's like when in the press conference when they asked the manager, oh, so what do you think about Pep then? Before we play Man City, oh, what a wonderful manager. It's like when they asked Pep, what do you think about that? Oh, he's a great manager. They're not going to say he's a shit manager, is he? Nice. They're not going to say, oh, it's all going to be nice and polite, and yeah, we're going to win, and positive vibes, and we've got to keep the positive vibes going. Bro, if any of these, and all these players do look on social media, they do, all of them, pretty much all of them do. Pretty much all of them, bro. Yeah, maybe they don't post tweets or so many Insta posts, but they're definitely
I don't think Martinelli looks on there.
100%. 100%. But this guy's posting these at Disneyland and stuff, mate. Yeah, of course he's looking on social media.
Fairs. The midfield we're going to be going up against today is going to be Ruiz, Vitinha, and Neves, most likely. So
with Hakimi bombing forward, Mensch bombing forward.
You know what? We didn't do a good enough job taking up that space between Hakimi and Marquinhos.
Do you know what we didn't do properly in that first leg? Yeah, Hakimi got booked in the first half, and we barely got the ball out to Martinelli ever again.
Because we don't attack from the left.
That's what I'm saying. So if the right hand side's fucked tonight, we're done. Yeah, because if Saka ain't on job and Timber don't overlap anyway, or Ben White if he is playing, if they ain't on job with that captain as well on that side, we're done, mate.
Let me give you some confidence though. Did you see how we played the first 20 minutes in that Bournemouth game? I think what we were doing was we were kind of experimenting on how we're going to play versus PSG. And the way that Declan Rice was utilizing his space on that left side as another attacking player, and he was bombing into the box, getting into the attacking third a lot more, getting onto the ball more in the attacking third. He looked like he was Kevin De Bruyne for a second, the way that he was utilizing the space in that attacking third. And I do think we're going to try to see Declan Rice more on the ball in the final third, driving with the ball. And we're definitely going to use the left-hand side and his abilities a lot more in this game, rather than what we did last game, where he was playing so deep that it negatively impacted us. And I don't think Declan Rice is ever going to play as out-and-out 6 for us as much as he's going to play as an 8. I think his role at Arsenal for the foreseeable future is as an 8.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, it's Bournemouth again. We're going up against Fabian Ruiz, who's quality. And for me, he was man of the match. Everyone says Vitinha or Neves. He was man of the match. Yeah, he's so good to watch, man. It's like watching Busquets at times. Yeah, but if we do get Declan Rice bombing forward, yeah, he's a threat and he can score goals here and there. Yeah, but what if we get caught out going the other way? Then what? Who's filling in? Skelly? Is Skelly going to fill in that gap in the 8? Maybe, because he'll be an inverted. But then one ball over the top, then Skelly's out of position as well. So now we've got to rely on Martinelli tracking all the way back. If they get a quick turnover, Declan's caught upfield, Skelly's in midfield, he's now getting drawn to the ball. If Martinelli's ball watching, he ain't getting back. And then one ball down the wing, they're gone.
Mm.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
what I'm
what?
saying. This
People,
manager we're going up against is a mad technical manager, mate. Yeah, in-game tactics are crazy.
let me just say something quickly. People in the chat, be nice to Lee, man. We're having a nice
I
conversation.
don't care anyway.
This
I
is not
get
no
plugged in.
banter
Used to
show.
be in there every day. It's words on the screen ago.
Yeah, I know. But you say this on your channel, so I need to also make sure people know. Be nice, and he's my guest, so be nice to my guests. And also, please do like the video, guys. We have over 1,000 people watching. Shout out to you guys. I've not had over 1,000 people watching on a stream. I don't remember since COVID days. So shout out to you guys.
Come on.
Big up to everybody watching right now. We got the biggest game in Arsenal's recent history, and I believe that Arsenal can get the job done. But Lee, you don't have as much faith as I do. What would give you faith in the first 20 minutes that we can do it? What do you need to see in the first 20 minutes to give you faith that this team is going to get the job done?
Score a goal. Score the first goal. Don't concede any chances. Don't do anything stupid, i.e. red cards, yellow cards, penalties, fouls on the edge of the box and around the box, and get a goal. And the thing is, we don't even need to get a goal in the first 20 minutes. Just don't concede.
Yeah. So have a good 20 minutes game on. We're gonna grow, and you believe that maybe we can get.
Yeah, we could potentially do it. Listen, it's only 1-0, man. Yeah, but at the same time, whilst it is only 1-0, if they get the first goal, we're dusted. Yeah, we're dusted, and then we'll start losing our heads, and then we'll probably end up conceding another 2 or 3 and get a red card and all sorts.
Just as much as you have faith, you feel like it could disappear in a second.
100%, and that's why this game is not a foregone conclusion for us, guaranteeing to get through. Like, whilst people are going to be positive, and I get that, yeah, right, we're playing a very good team. We're playing a manager that's won it. Yeah, we're playing probably the best midfield three in the world. Yeah, and their striker, stroke winger, is in mad form. Yeah, and they've got a couple of good other players in that team as well. Let's not forget that. They've got goals from all around the pitch. We ain't. We got goals from Saka and Merino if we're lucky.
Okay, time to talk about Arteta. Arteta in these
I'll get me Coke now. Thanks for having me on, mate.
Arteta in these games. You know what? Before the game, actually, he said a comment about Liverpool. He said the past 2 seasons, Arsenal's points tallies would have won the Premier League this year. And
that's rubbish.
Basically, he's saying Liverpool's points tally, which they won and confirmed the league title, was less than what we've had the last 2 years. And that's factual. Now,
no, it's not. No, it's not. So 2 years ago, after 35 points, it's another fake stat that nobody fact checks in the press conferences that then gets posted out to millions online and people take it as gospel. Yeah. Last season, I think it was, we had 82 points after 35 games.
That's not what he means. He means the points tally in which the title was confirmed.
Which is 82 points.
Yeah, 82 points.
We had 82 points. We got 82 points at the same distance now.
Sorry?
The season before we had 80, so it's a 2-point difference.
Basically,
last season, after 35 games, yeah, we had 82 points. He's lying. Bro, I'm not even taking the piss. Last season, in fact, I bookmarked it. One sec.
What are you lying about?
He said,
let me go pull up the video. Let me go pull up the video because I'm maybe.
No, I know what he said. No, he did say that.
Talking about 2 completely different ones.
No, he did say that. He did say that. Yeah, but this is a fake stat. Here we go. I found it. Is that it?
Which one is
it? One second. It was on Haters TV, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. That's how you. Why do you call them haters? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Isn't it
Haters TV?
1 second.
How would you pronounce it? It's Haters TV, bro.
I don't know. I'm just talking shit sometimes. 1 second. Here we go. I found the video. Let me play it.
Liverpool have won the title with less points than we have had in the last 2 seasons.
Here we go. So
we have in the last 2 seasons, with the points of the last 2 seasons, we have 2 Premier Leagues.
So he's saying winning trophies is being in the right moment at the right moment and the right place. Liverpool have won the trophy with less points than we have had the last 2 seasons, which is factually correct based on the points tallies. The points tallies that we had at the end of the season.
Yeah, but the season's not ended. There's still 3 games to go, so he's waffling.
I know, but he's saying the points tally that we ended the season with would have been enough to win the league those years, based on where Liverpool confirmed the league.
Yeah, now, if my auntie had balls, she'd be my uncle. What are we doing here?
Now, if Liverpool go on to get 91 points like they can do, then obviously they get more points than what we had over the last 2 years. But there is a possibility they
Yeah,
drop.
so hang on. He's taking. This is why this guy is a fraudster. Yeah, this guy is taking a total 38 game season's points tally and comparing it to 35 games.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's a waste of time, waste of everyone's time. I'll tell you the exact stats here. Right. After 35 games, Liverpool got 82 points. Yeah. They've won the league. After 35 games in 22-23, we had 81 points. 1 point behind Liverpool. Yeah. So that's factually incorrect what he's saying. He's taking another 3 games on top of that and comparing it to 35 games. Last season, after 35 games, we had 80 points. So Liverpool have won it after 35 games with 1 point more and 2 points more than we've had in the last 2 seasons. So he's a liar. The points tally that we had at the same stage would not have won us the league. He's then adding another 3 games points on. Yeah, and saying, well, we would have won the league compared to 35 games.
He's speaking about the points tally that we ended the season with in comparison to Liverpool's points tallies now. That's what he's talking about.
So it's complete rubbish and nobody pulls him up on this, Egal. Yeah, why would you compare 38 games to 35 games? You wouldn't, would you?
I'm not going to.
That's like comparing apples to oranges.
When I initially heard it, I understood what he was talking about. And of course, if Liverpool now go on to get 91 points, it debunks his point.
Well, it debunks his point anyway, because they've won the league on 1 point more than we had in 22-23 at the same stage. He's compared 38 games of us with 35 games of Liverpool.
So the last 2 years, at this point of the season, did we have more points than what Liverpool have now?
We had 81 points last season at this stage. Sorry, 81 points in 22-23. When we were 8 points clear, we had 81 points after 35 games. Yeah. Right. Last season, we had 80 points.
And Liverpool right now have 82.
Yeah. So Liverpool would have won the league then after 35 games in either season.
He's not wrong, though. Based on last 2 years, based on the last 2 years, if we have the same points tallies as we did last 2 years, we probably would be confirmed league title holders.
No, we wouldn't, because if we're comparing it to Liverpool after 35 games, in the last 2 years after 35 games, we've had less points. We had 1 point less at this stage last year. Yeah, sorry, 2 points less at this stage last year and 1 point less in the 8-point bottle job season. That season, we had 81 points after 35 games. Last season, we had 80 points after 35 games. So again, he is lying.
Liverpool currently have 82.
So they win the league then, don't they? Thank you. You got it.
No, but what he's saying is you replace Arsenal with Liverpool and you give us the points tallies from the last 2 years, we win.
But he's added another 3 games on.
It's some crazy gymnastics, but I get
Egal, he's taken our 38 game season and compared it to a 35 game season so far.
All right, fair enough.
So there's an extra 9 points available, isn't there?
What about his other take on what do you call it? This part here, talking about Arsenal's away form and saying that how good we've been away from home. We have to prove something very different.
So how good we've been away from home?
Yeah.
Wow. How do we get on at Newcastle this season twice?
No, he's
what about Bournemouth away?
He's talking about the Champions League. PSV,
on the Champions League?
Yeah. Everywhere except for Inter away, we pretty much won.
At Atlanta, we drew.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Atlanta, we drew. Inter, we lost. Girona, we got through to, beat them 2-1. PSV, we slapped. Who else did we play? Sporting, we slapped.
Real Madrid. You're not confident in our away form?
I'm not confident in this club at all. I'm not confident in him. This guy is a serial gaslighter, mate, and he's a fraud and a liar. The fact that he says things and everyone's confused about what he said, we've just debated on it for 10 minutes. Yeah, that is what he does, because he bamboozles people into believing that what he says is, but he's actually compared a 38 game season to a 35 game so far. Yeah, and everyone's took that as gospel because the journalists in the press conference ain't fact checked that. While they're in there, they could have gone, oh, hold up a minute, Mikel. You had 80 points last season at this stage. So Liverpool still win the league based on that. 81 the year before, so Liverpool still win the league then, don't they? Because they got 82. Yeah, they wouldn't be allowed back in again. Yeah, everything that guy does is to manipulate and finesse the masses. Yeah, and then what happens is he knows that millions of people are going to see that all over the internet, and then they're going to mimic it and say what he says and parrot it. Yeah, and this is what he does, bro. He gets briefed every single press conference, and he sounds like a top gooner on the internet. Am I lying?
Shout out to Top Gunners. Let's go to Richard. Let's go to Richard.
You're funny, man. You're funny, bro.
Let's go to Richard. What scares me is the plan A doesn't work. If plan A doesn't work, Arteta often gets schooled by a more experienced manager because plan A has to work.
Yeah, there is no plan B. What's plan B? Throw on about another 4 defenders and all go forward.
You know, I view football slightly different. I view it as when you bring on different personnel and you slightly tweak the way that you play, that I view that as a plan B. But the way you guys view football, you view it as complete structural change, and like the way that we play football is a plan B. So I view minor tweaks as plan Bs, where you guys view, like, for example, if he was to take Mikel Merino out of the striker position and throw Trossard up top with him, and then go to and then have Martinelli and Saka playing as right midfielders and left midfielders and playing like a 4-4-2. That's what you guys view as like a complete system.
Yeah, that's. But this is what we all watched that game last night. Yeah, we all watched the first leg as well. Barca Inter. First leg of Barca Inter. This is what I see as a plan B. First leg in Barca Inter. They're 2-0 up in Barca keep playing the same way they always play. Yeah, they just change the personnel here and there. Maybe bring on Lewandowski off the bench, blah blah blah. Yeah, or bring on whoever.
Is that a plan B?
Well, plan B, Lewandowski off the bench. We could do with him, couldn't we?
No, is that a plan B though, or would you say that's just a personnel change? Because
no, that's a personnel change. Of course it is. But what I'm saying is they'll change up and they'll switch their wingers over. Yeah, Yamal can then play. Look at yesterday. 1 minute, Yamal. I'll give you the best example here. Yeah? 2 examples. The first leg. Inter are 2-0 up, it goes 2-2. They're parking the bus all the way through the first half. They would have got absolutely battered if they'd carried on the second half parking the bus. Yeah, because Inter were getting pammed shot after shot after shot against them, yeah? Their manager goes in at half time, tweaks a few things. Now they're on the front foot, pushing up something near the halfway line. Midway up, like on the edge of the centre circle kind of thing, that distance, yeah? They created the better chances in the first leg. Yeah, they had goal disallowed. Yesterday, yeah, he started the game off on the front foot. Then they were getting overrun because they looked leggy in the second half. So then he retreated, made a couple of subs. Mkhitaryan came off and can't remember who the other one was. They sat back a little bit deeper. Yeah, but then they said, right, Thuram, you just run the channels. We're going to boot the ball up to you and you just run down the channels. That is a system change. That is a personnel change and a system change. What are we going to do? Who are we running the ball down the wing to? Because Mikel Merino is slower than Mertesacker.
Let me just.
Who's going to hold the ball up? Saka ain't going to hold the ball up against 2 centre backs.
I think the system change, if we were to make any systematic changes, what would it be? You could take out Martin Odegaard.
I'd go 2 up front.
I'd go
a 3-5-2.
You could take out Martin Odegaard and bring in Trossard. That's what I was thinking as a system change. Now, then you throw him up top with Mikel Merino and have Saka and Martinelli drop into midfield. And it would be a 4-4-2, similar to how we played them at the Emirates the first time when we played PSG earlier in the season. Now, that is what I view as a system change. But a personnel change that you could make that could make the game slightly different.
See, we could go 3-5-2. We've got enough defenders to play a wing-back system. We could play Tierney at wing-back. We could play Tierney at centre-back and put Skelly at left wing-back. Yeah, then you could play Timber, Saliba, Kiwior, Tierney, and Skelly as a 5.
Martin Odegaard out.
Yeah, then you go Rice and Partey as the 2 in midfield. Yeah, right, 2 in midfield. Yeah, and then you could go with Merino and Saka up front.
Wouldn't we have experimented?
And you could put behind them. You could put Trossard in there. So you go 5-3-2 or 5-2-3, whatever you want to do. Because we
haven't played a back 3 all season, I don't think he's just going to throw a back 3 in this game. Most likely, the only plan B, in my opinion, is a 4-4-2.
The only trophy he's ever won is playing a 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, whatever you want to call it. It's the only trophy he won. By the way,
I spoke to Mo today. He told me the Super Copa is the equivalent to the Community Shield. He agreed with me.
Ask him if it is a professional. In fact, I'll Google it.
It is a professional award.
So there you go then.
Anyways, do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button. Shout out Hooks in the time.
How many people are watching? Smash the likes up, man. Make sure you sub to Egal as well.
1,300 people. This is a record for me, you know. Shout out.
How many?
1,300 people. We need
No,
to
come
get
on, man. They kind of brought the hype. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
at
mean? Yeah,
least 600 likes. At least
I
600
put it on my
likes.
community tab so everyone see Lee and Egal. They love the drama in it.
Thank you. You know what it is? People keep asking me, like, why do you do content with Lee? I'm like, bro, I don't mind speaking to somebody who has a different opinion of me. And you know something? If you don't have these kind of conversations, we'll never get to understand why we think the way that we think. And there's certain things that you've convinced me of, and then maybe some things that I've changed your mind on. Maybe I don't know, but we'll see. I don't think you'll ever admit that though.
No, I've done before. You come up with some good points at times. Yeah, we all do. Listen, we ain't gonna. This is life in general. You ain't gonna agree with someone 100% on everything, are you?
Hey,
otherwise, it'd be boring.
True. And let's go to Richard Rich. What do you say? Bournemouth have more away goals than Arsenal this season in the league. That's crazy.
Wow.
I did not know that. As for Ozan Kabak, shout out to you. Yes, he's a center back. You still big up Ozan Kabak, even though he barely played for Liverpool. That's crazy. He said, yo, Egal, if you man do go and win tonight and go to Munich, how do you match up with Inter Milan man to man? You know what? That is a problem. Inter Milan is going to be an issue, bro.
He's the best. He's the best in-game coach in the world. He's unreal, mate.
You know,
look at the way he tweaks things in game. Yeah, look at the way he's standing right, and he jumps around. He's like a little bit like Arteta, you know, jumping around, soaking wet in his suit, all action and all that. A little bit like Simeone. Yeah, but the way he sees things in game, and he don't wait and wait and wait for it to go shit and shit at the fan. Yeah, look at the first leg. Yeah. He see that DiMarco was getting cooked by Lamine Yamal. Yeah, he didn't fuck around. He took him straight off. Yesterday, he thought the game was going to be slightly different because he was on the front foot from the get-go. Yeah, so he played DiMarco again. He brought him out for the second half. He's given him 5 minutes, 8 minutes or whatever, and said, no, he's still getting cooked. See you later. I'll bring Augusto on. Yeah, and to be fair, he cooked him as well. Yeah, but at the same time, he don't wait and wait and wait. Look how quick he made his subs yesterday. Yeah, nearly all of his subs were done before the 90 minutes. In fact, I think all of them were, weren't they?
Yeah, all of his subs were done before the extra time even started.
There you go.
Very dangerous, though. It's a very dangerous game to play. Guys, we only have 300 likes. We have over 1,300. We should easily...
That's shambles, man. Carl, that should be at least 500-600, man.
Yeah, you guys are moving like Eddie and Ketia right now.
You're moving like our captain in midfield.
And enough about...
Hooks is trying to bail himself out. And he's doing a Gareth, mate. He's bailed. He's trying to get out of the watch along. Oh, I'm going to be miles behind. I want to watch the game without being behind. Yeah, I'm going to be way behind tonight. So come join me, Hooks. Don't dodge it, mate.
Let me just say one more thing about them about PSG. Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, all these guys. Lee, I said it to you on Dan's channel. In 3 years, they've spent more than Arteta spent his whole time at Arsenal.
No, he ain't.
And
you actually said 2 years as well, by the way.
Yeah, you know me. I changed my mind.
Yeah, you made it up.
No, I didn't make it up.
You mistyped, yeah, typo.
Yeah, yo, I had a crazy typo in the chat earlier. If you didn't see it, it was a madness. It was a madness. Instead of saying sacking, it said something else, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Oh wow, pause.
but look at this. People don't really talk about People don't really. What the hell's going on here? People don't really talk about PSG like that. Look at this. So they spent 239 million euros in this season alone. So that's
hang on. Stop. How much they get back on the right hand side for departures?
We're not talking about how much they get back.
No, but I want to see what the difference is.
Okay. 130.
So they spent 100 million, 109 million.
All right. But we're looking at net. So net purchases, right? Because when we talk about Arsenal, we don't speak about what sales we made.
We don't make any.
No, but we have made sales.
We rip up the contracts.
We have made sales. Then last year, they did a madness, bro. 454 million. That is crazy, you know?
Yeah, look at the level of players they got, though. Go up. Let's have a look at the players they got.
Yeah, I know, but it's like you don't realize how much money they spent until you actually look at it. Kolo Muani, Gonzalo Ramos, both relatively flops. Ugarte, they flipped him right away. Dembele, baller. Barcola, baller. Luca Hernandez, baller. Ekitike, what?
How much did they sell him for? Because he's at Frankfurt. Yeah, they sold him straight away. Yeah, let's go to the right. They sold him straight away. On the right, departures.
16 million, waste of money. They bought him for 30, and then they flipped him for 15.
28.
They should have held him. Then you got.
But I think he was on loan the season
Xavi
before.
Simons for 4 million, and then they flipped him for 60. Fair play.
But I think that Ekatike was on loan.
They sold him. They got rid of him.
No, but I think he was on loan before, and then they bought him, right? You'd have to go back the other way. You'd have to go back the other way, further down.
Where was he on loan? No, but it says they brought him. They paid for him.
Oh, so look, they bought him. Then they loaned him to Frankfurt, and then Frankfurt brought him.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
How much they're saying for? Oh no, they loaned him again. Twice they loaned him, so they got 7 million in loan fees.
Then they
sold him for 15, so they didn't really lose that much money.
They
lost about 7 million.
Hmm.
Yeah, they loaned him twice. Yeah, and he was loaned from them. Yeah, that makes no sense. Maybe go down.
It says loan here. Maybe we just click on his account. Let me just.
Yeah, that'd be a bit easier, wouldn't it? Bear with me 1 second. There's a mad amount of police going off outside. I want to see what's happening.
Okay, so maybe
I've been arrested.
Man's been going back and forth from Stade France. So they loaned him. Then he came back to PSG. They loaned him to Frankfurt, loaned him again, and then now they sold him to Frankfurt for 16. So pretty much they've gotten their money back with loan fees and everything. They got their money back with loan fees. But originally he was loaned to PSG, and then PSG purchased him and then loaned him back to Stade France. It's weird. It's one of them ones. But yeah, as he comes back, guys, do me a favor. Let me know your score predictions in the chat right now. Real Madrid have intensified interest in Dean Huijsen. Yeah, man, they need to. Mikel Raid, shout out to you guys in the chat. You're keeping Saliba safe. Your Honda safe. You think Saliba's a Honda? You're on a mad thing. Arsenal intensified talks with Liga. Yo, people in the chat are hilarious. Yo, guess what? Real Madrid look like they're going to be getting the guy from Bournemouth, apparently.
Yeah, bro, I've heard so many. Look at his badge, by the way.
Yeah, that's disgraceful. Real Madrid and Inter Milan badge.
That guy's linked to everyone. Fabrizio's mates with his agent or something. It's got to be the amount of tweets that Fabrizio has posted about that guy is crazy.
I seen Matty had him on a podcast, so he's definitely linked with the Bear people. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
A lot of people know him. But yo, Lee, going back to my main point about PSG, the final year that I was talking about. So they spent 400, they spent 230, and then the final year they spent 147 million. So altogether, do you know how much that is? In the last 3 seasons, they spent 840 million euros. What happened?
I took this beer out of the freezer and it's fucking melting everywhere. I kept it in too long. It's overflowing. It's literally going everywhere. Because I put them in my freezer because the fridge don't get them cold enough. And now, because it's melting, it's just overflowing out the can. What a prat. So what, about 800 million, yeah? 840
million euros.
Right, and what have they won in that time?
The league multiple times, the domestic cup multiple times, and now they've been to 2 Champions League. They've been to a Champions League final, Champions League semi-final.
It's almost like it's money well spent then.
No, but we talk about Arsenal spending 800 million over 6 years. These guys spent it over 3 years. My point exactly.
And they win.
I get it that they win, but bro, I feel like when people talk about Arsenal's money spent, it has to be in perspective. 6 years spending 800 million, 700 million in the grand.
It's actually 5 years. It's not 6 years. Come on, it's 5 years.
5 years spending 700 million in today's age is not that bad compared to Chelsea spending $1 billion in 2 years and still not got nowhere.
But yeah, at the same time, look at the players that they've sold, right, and then compare that to ours. Yeah, their net spend to probably be there or thereabouts the same as ours. Yeah, not only that, they've got Mbappe, Messi. They've got Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar's wages off their wage bill. Do you know how much money that is? That's how they could go out and do that. The money, in fact, not only that, they saved themselves 200 million in a loyalty bonus because Mbappe left.
They don't get no money from Mbappe leaving. They get money from Neymar leaving.
No, but they got 100 million from Neymar.
From Messi leaving.
No, but what I'm saying is the wages that they save.
Yeah.
And the
They-
loyalty bonus for Mbappe was 200 million. They had to give him
Bro,
200 million loyalty bonus if he stayed.
They
So they've
sold,
literally saved 200 million, which they then spent.
they sold 210 million the summer that they purchased 450 million worth of
So they've
players.
done 200 mil, which is what we've done in the summer before. And look at our sales that summer. We ripped up nearly everyone's contracts.
This past summer, our net profit, we profited 10 million. We didn't purchase that much compared to sales. But hey, I get your point. You're basically saying as long as you win, I don't give a shit how much you pay.
Yeah.
I get that.
And
So
it's the aim of the game, man. Just win.
if we had oil money right now, you wouldn't give a fuck. You'd be like, yo, we're winning.
I can't wait for a sheikh to take over our club, man, or a Qatari or someone. Yeah, or a rich Russian. Get Roman.
I don't think the Kroenkes would ever sell, man. I think
They will. They will at some point.
I don't think they're going to sell. I think they're viewing Arsenal, Denver Nuggets, all the teams that they have as like a conglomerate that they work together and they make money off of. Like, and the sad thing is, every single one of their other clubs, even their lacrosse team, has won. Do you view the Kroenkes as a problem before we end off with the predictions?
I've classed the fans as a bigger problem, if I'm honest.
The biggest problem at Arsenal, what is it for you? The Arsenal fan base.
Yeah.
Why is
the
that?
fans? Because the Kroenkes just serve up crap, and the fans allow it. Yeah, the fans. There's two things that can happen at a football club to set standards and raise the standards. One, you have an owner like Roman Abramovich, or you have Papa Perez at Real Madrid, or you have Bayern Munich. But both of them two clubs are run by their fans. Right, so that's the second. You either have elite level ownership, as in sole owner, like Josh Stan, Roman Abramovich, so on, or you have an elite level set of fans. Yeah, that keep the owners on their toes. Yeah, or keep the board level on their toes, should I say? Because Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, they keep theirs on their toes. What can we do? We can stop gassing up second place, stop gassing up 5 years and no trophies, stop hyping up every single player at the club. Yeah, stop making out that Champions League semi is good enough. Yeah, stop making up excuses for why we don't win games. Oh, it's the refs and this and that.
Okay, you used to go to the games a lot, every single game for like a couple of years.
Years and years.
Yeah. How many of those fans that you'd be sitting around are the ones that you're speaking about?
That I was sitting around.
Yeah.
I was there when it was Wenger out, and most of the people around me wanted Wenger out. The geezer in front of me and his son didn't want him out. They wanted him in. But most of them around me in block 10, most of them wanted him out.
When I go to games and I sit next to, I don't know if you know DJ Harry, his season ticket, whenever I go sit where he usually sits, there's a lot of people around where he sits that are very practical, and they tell you as it is. If they don't like Kai Havertz, if they don't like the manager, if they don't like certain people. And I don't think a large majority of Arsenal fans are as like delusional as people make us out to be. I think there's a bunch of us like me that are very optimistic that people will say you're delusional or will say crazy takes. But overall, I think a large majority of Arsenal fans are more in between me and you and are more in the middle than there are more negative or more positive fans.
Yeah, but that's why the Kroenkes are still here, and that's why we don't win anything as well, because they go off of the last result. Even if we get slapped, I'll give you an example, man. Even if we get slapped 4-0 tonight, you still want the manager here.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, if we don't even get through, I want him sacked. And if we do get through and he don't win it, I want him sacked. And there's some fans that even if we win it, they want him sacked. But then you're saying there's some in the middle of me and you, yeah?
Yeah.
They're the ones that will just go off of the last result. So they might have wanted him sacked and booed the team off at the weekend because there was loud boos and fights in the ground. Yeah, block 7, block 8, block 9, there was fighting. Yeah, Arteta in, Arteta out. So the end is coming unless he wins something. Yeah, so now let me land my point. So now let's assume we go and beat PSG tonight. Them fans that were booing and kicking off at the weekend will now all be sitting there gassed because we're in the final, even if we don't win it. Yeah, and that is why this fan base as a whole, yeah, will number one never be all together. There's still Wenger outs that hate Wenger ins from back in the day and vice versa. Yeah, there's Arteta in, Arteta outs. Then you got the ones in the middle. They don't want to take each side because they just, oh, I'm just a fan, a level-headed fan. No, you're just deluded and go where the wind blows for traction. Yeah. No, it's true. Oh, if it's negative, I'll jump on that one. If it's positive and everyone's positive, I'll jump on that one. Round and round and round we go. And this is why, as a fan base, we'll never be together 100%. And the ownership.
Of a calafiori, what the hell?
Huh?
I just seen this picture that's gonna piss you off.
Go on. Oh dear. Oh dear.
You clearly have it. You don't like Fabrizio and you don't like Calafiori, so that's.
No, I don't mind Fabrizio. I had him on my channel years ago before he sold out.
Anyways, I'm sorry. I don't know. I thought that was funny. But continue.
No, I was saying like the fans that are in the middle, yeah. And listen, people say I'm negative all the time. I'm not. They just don't watch all my content because they've got the brain size of an amoeba, a brain cell of an amoeba.
Let's not lie. People call me positive. I think I'm quite balanced. You probably think you're quite balanced, but most of the time,
I know I'm more negative than positive.
Yeah, and I'm more.
I know that, but I'm fucked off from my club, Egal. Yeah, I've supported this club since
this
1987,
and I haven't seen as much success as you. But at the same time, I think the way you get to success is by supporting the team and believing in them and giving them.
Imagine, you've got kids, right?
I got a son.
Imagine your kid. Yeah, listen, God forbid, yeah, that this happens, becomes addicted to drugs.
Wouldn't happen in my household.
No, I know it wouldn't. I'm just talking hypotheticals, yeah. But now you go, oh, it's okay. They ain't done any for 2 days. Yeah, but then they go on a mad spree for another month. But you go, oh well, I've got to back it. It's my son or it's my daughter. Then they go, oh well, I've been clean for a month. So you're like, yay, come on, success. And then they get back on it again. This is our club. Yeah, this is our club. Little wins do not accumulate to big victories, i.e. trophies. So somebody getting clean for 2 days or a month, you're going to back that because it's family. This club is family to a lot of people. It's the same shit, Egal. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he won against Real Madrid, so that's them being clean for 2 days or a month. Yeah. But then they're shit for the next 4 games. But that don't matter. Yeah. Because I've got to back it anyway. Yeah. You're not going to help her. I'm just going to tell him piss off. Yeah, it comes to tipping point with everything in life.
In the head. Somebody said it's more likely Egal's son gets addicted to smack than Arsenal win a trophy. You're sick.
Come on, don't be like that, man. That's
you're sick in the head. Anyways,
come on, man.
It's a great analogy.
Maybe that wasn't the best analogy to use, but my point is,
saying great analogy. Some people saying it's crazy, but overall,
no. But the point is, if you love something, you're not going to let it get destroyed in front of you, are you?
I think Lee, you're right in one aspect. The match-going fans and the ballot has ruined the experience.
The ballot definitely has.
Ballot has fucked up this club because I remember before the ballot system, I could get a ticket to pretty much any game if I wanted to. Just stay on the exchange and I'll
just get on there, bang on there an hour before 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
I'll eventually get it, right? Now it's a situation where it's like you can't get there.
Yeah, but do you know why that ballot even came in? Because all of these level-headed top gooners on the internet, yeah, the AST and all of these numpsies. No, it is. I know this factually.
It came in because when the end of the season, when the Wolves game was about to be announced, there was tickets going on second market
30 grand, yeah,
for 40 grand and like 13 grand.
But guess what? Who was kicking off? The ones, yeah, that sit online thinking they're holier than thou, thinking they're a better football fan than everyone because they get into an AST meeting, yeah, and they were crying about it. So they proposed a ticket change. We need to do something to make it fairer for everybody, because it's unfair that these tickets are going and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And now they're the very same people that are crying about the ballot. Well, maybe if they just shut their fucking mouth, yeah, we'd still have a shit ton of people in the Ashburton army making a noise and there'd be a bit of an atmosphere at the Emirates.
No, bro, the club ruined the Ashburton army. But shout out Ryan. He says, not a fan of Egal, but never hides. Hit the likes. Hit the likes, guys.
Fair play, man. No, but this is the thing, yeah. If people just kept their mouth shut about tickets, Egal, the stadium would still be how it was on 22-23 season.
Somebody you fully disagree with in Rory, for example, was one of the most vocal about this ballot system being ruining an experience for fans. And
yeah, but at the same time, he was probably one of the very, very people that was probably moaning before it even kicked in that it was hard to get tickets and it weren't fair.
Now it's even harder.
Yeah, because they don't shut their mouth. If they just shut their mouth, they'd still be. And to be fair, he goes to quite a few games. I think it's in Paris now. See on his Twitter earlier. Yeah, how he's got a ticket for that if he has is mad, by the way.
I don't think he has a ticket yet. I spoke to him yesterday. He told me he doesn't have a ticket yet.
Well, if he gets one, fair play to him. But at the end of the day, yeah, people, yeah, you have to have 55 away credits, Yeah, 55. Do you know how long that takes to get
He
into that
definitely
ticket
has
for that
away
game?
credits. I don't know how many.
He ain't got
away
55 of the fuckers, mate. Trust me. That's years.
How many credits can you get per game?
Depends what game it is.
So if you go to Bournemouth away, do you get a credit?
Yeah. Every away game you get a credit, yeah.
So you need to go to 55 away games before
It
you get
depends. No, it depends. And it depends.
If you go to Real
because
Madrid
what
away,
happened, I'll give you an example, right? What used to happen, right, is
how do
now
people get tickets to Real Madrid away? I know somebody who went to Real Madrid away. I know for a fact he's not a season ticket holder, and I know for a fact he's not been to 55 plus games.
That's what I'm saying. Because it's all well and good. Because, right, so I'll give you an example, yeah? If you know somebody
Shout out Clifton, by the way.
that's got
No faith in Mikel, but I love my team, and all I can do is pray. I get it.
Yeah, big up Cliff. If you know somebody that's got an away, has got a ticket, yeah, like a season ticket, and they go to every away game, yeah, when it comes to a European away game, you can buy depending on how many tickets you have. So I'll give an example. The person I used to go to the games with, his family between them had 4 season tickets. All 4 of them didn't want to go on the away trips abroad, but now all 4 of them can buy a ticket, though, can't they? Yeah, and you can transfer them into somebody else's name. You have to do it on the website at the time. Yeah, you don't transfer it, you just put in the name of the person. And what they used to do is they used to write it on the ticket, the name and your passport number. So when the ticket arrived, the paper ticket arrived, yeah, it'd have my name and my passport number in biro pen. So now what used to happen is, yeah, and I get why they've changed it. What used to happen is people would buy up the tickets and not even go, just so they can keep their away credits for abroad. Yeah, so they build up their away credits. So if we get to a final, bang, they're guaranteed a ticket. Yeah, same for the away games in England. Yeah, people that buy them and not even bother going. They just send someone else. Yeah, but the away ones abroad, they write your name. You used to write your name and your passport number on them. Yeah, people just get a baby wipe, a wet wipe, wipe it off. Yeah, and go, oh, here you go. You want a ticket, mate? Yeah, and just write their name and passport number on it. Now they've got their passport. Go to the Arsenal end. Yeah, Arsenal stewards are at the away end tonight in Paris. And they go, boom, there you go. So now Arsenal are smart on that. Yeah, and the reason they send stewards from our club over to these away games and to away games in England is to watch for the people that are on the banned list. Right? So they have the Arsenal stewards everywhere, home and away. Yeah, mainly away to keep on the banned list. Yeah, but so check this, yeah. I swear to God, there's people that used to literally buy up the tickets, not bother going, yeah, and just flog them. Yeah, and if they know people that have got, I don't know, let's say they're in a group of 20 of them that go to every away game in England, yeah, but none of them can be asked to go to Azerbaijan. Well, no, actually, that was the final. Let's say Ostersund. All 20 of them could buy up the tickets and then just go and flog them. Yeah, so I get why Arsenal stopped that.
For extra.
Most of the time, not. Yeah, because like, to be fair, the away fans abroad are mad. Fair play to them, yeah.
Well, you know
the away fans in general.
You know the guys outside their Emirates, for example, they rob people, bro. They're selling tickets versus Manchester United for £150.
Yeah, bro, it's a joke. I've seen it outside Stamford Bridge before for a game. But check this, yeah. So now Arsenal have changed it that when you go to an away trip abroad, yeah, you have to turn up to a certain venue with your passport and you collect your ticket. Yeah. And tonight I think they're giving out a free scarf. Here you go. You're in Paris. Walk around with this on, and everyone will know you're an Arsenal fan, mate. Yeah, you're not like a sitting duck guy.
You're asking for trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice touch. Fair play to it. It's a nice little touch in that. But at the same time, the reason that they've changed the ticketing system is because, number one, people were moaning about tickets and allocation of them. And number two, because people are just taking a wholesale piss and not going. But they keep getting their credit.
Hey, I just want to say big up to everybody watching, man. This has been one of the biggest streams I've had in my channel ever.
Is there anyone live that we like? You can
I want to say shout out to everybody. There is a bunch of people live. Let me check. I know Saeed's live, I think. I don't know how much longer he's going to be live.
Let me see how long he's been live for. Let me see who is live.
There is Husam's live. Who else is there? Minerals FC. Those are the 3 people I see. Husam,
Saeed's been live. He's on. Yeah, he's on the Mandem Talk. It's been like 53 minutes. Yeah, that's going to kick off. Mandem Talk.
Yeah, they're going to be on for like at least 2 hours, right?
Yeah, they'll be on for about another 40 minutes at least.
All right. So I'll send it to.
There's loads of them on there. Rhino, Nuruddin, Rants, Faz.
Yeah, because majority of them are your subscribers, so you know what your subscribers like better than me.
Ty's on there. Yeah, loads of them are on there, man. It's loads of them.
So what we need you guys to do is to go over to Saeed's channel and tell him Bruno stays. Do not sell Bruno. because he hates Bruno. Be
No,
like,
no, 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 no. Hashtag pray for Paris.
Hashtag pray for Paris.
Or
Okay.
you got Bruno raid, or pray for Paris raid.
You know what? While we're talking about Paris, give your predictions because that's the final thing before we go.
I'd like to predict a win, unfortunately, like I did in the first leg, because I'm always negative and I don't predict wins, apparently.
Woo, Lee predicting a win.
I know, and I got it wrong. So do I have to apologise for that then? Because I predicted a loss in the first game against Madrid.
Predict a win, and then if anything goes wrong, you can say, you know what? Well, I predicted a win, and they let me down.
Well, no, I'm going to predict a draw because I predicted a 2-0 in the first leg, and I'm predicting 1-1 tonight. So we would have gone through 3-1 then, wouldn't we? Yeah, but when I predicted a loss against Madrid, everyone was telling me how to apologise. So when I predicted a win and it didn't happen, then what? Do I still have to apologise?
No, you don't. When you predict a win, you don't have to apologize.
Oh, okay. So it's only if I predict a loss and we win, yeah?
Unless you said something so delusional that is going to get you in trouble, like I have.
I said we beat PSG 2-0 first leg.
All right. So what's the prediction?
I didn't think we played that 1-1 tonight.
1-1. I think we can do it, bro. 2-0. And I'm just hope and pray we get the first goal, sit back against the run of play, get a second goal, and then from there we can close out the game. PSG they're gonna make us suffer. We're gonna face like 22 shots at least on goal today from PSG. They're just gonna be taking shots from all over the place. We just need to make sure.
No side's just gone live. If you want to rate him instead, it's up to you, mate. I don't mind.
All right, yeah. Let's send
your channel, innit?
No, let's send it to Northside. Let's send it to Northside.
Yeah, Said's got about 1 billion people watching him anyway.
Yeah.
Right, Al Ali are 2-0 up. Come on, my Saudi G's are 2-0 up. Yeah, come on. Hey, see, no lagging after winning a trophy at the weekend. Standards are high at Al Ali, bro. Mahrez FC, come on, 2-0 up, 46.
What's going on with Mahrez? Bro, you love Mahrez, yeah?
He's a baller, bro. Oh, my Saudi G's are going up to third with that win. Lovely. And they've won the biggest prize you can win in that era, in that region.
Right. Let's send it to Northside. He's probably gonna send it back to you anyways. So that's your boy right there. That's my boy too. So guys, go set up to Northside. You know what you tell Northside? Hashtag pray for Madrid. Hashtag pray for PSG. I was about to say Madrid.
Pray for PSG raid. Hashtag pray for PSG raid.
There you go. And everyone in the comment section, big up to you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and love for the love, people. We're out of here, people. Peace.